Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Please join with me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all again, and as I said before, welcome. You okay now? Yes, all right, we have a couple of additions to the agenda. I'd like the board to put on Cindy Turnley. Place her, there's under the department and committee reports, there's scanning, library, and certificate of mileage. I'd like it put in right after library internet, so she'd be number or letter C. That be all right? And then David Walker is here for my certificate of mileage anyway. I'd like to have him also speak on bridge and road standards. So we'll just add him under certificate of mileage. And then the tax committee. They came in a few minutes late after the issuance of our agenda. So, and I would like to put them after the recycling committee. So moved. Josh?
Second, sorry.
Jeff, we're adding Cindy, David, and the tax committee to the agenda. Motion's been made and seconded to add Cindy Turnley, Dave Walker, and tax committee. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. And no chair's remarks tonight. Open public comment. Anybody have anything they'd like to say? Now this is for non-agenda items. Right up to the microphone.
Okay. Yeah, Steve Zaluzny. There's just a few things on my mind I'd like to bring up. Not sure the best way to go about it, but basically my question is, the first one's involve law enforcement in town. We have the sheriff's department under contract now. I have a general question, I guess, is one thing. I'd like to see the contract that they have with the town. One of the reasons being, I'm just curious how that relates to the use of the building. So if something at some point, whether now or, that's my question that's out there, is how do I find a copy of that? If you want to answer it now or later, it's fine.
No, there should be a copy of that in the town clerk's office.
So I'll go to the town clerk on that? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, and the other thing I'd like to see, again, I'm not sure how to go about this, but I'd like to see options for number of hours that the voters can vote on, you know, not just the 24/7 that we have now. As far as I understand, that's what we have now. That we have some other options, you know, similar to maybe what Townsend has, some lesser amounts, so that the voters can have some options as to what they think is adequate for the town. And also, I'd like to see if possibly the state police could give us some pricing on law enforcement also. Again, I'm not sure the best way to go about that, but it's something I want to put out there. Then if you can send me in the right direction or
Chris,
whatever.
I have all that.
Oh, wow, okay.
Pardon?
Josh has all that.
You have done some research on
Yes.
that, or you did?
I've done research for the state police and the costs and that kind of thing. I don't have it with me, but I do have it.
Okay. Do you have a range of different options as far as hours at this point? Or not?
I have an hourly rate that will kind of be across the board. You
So whatever you want
choose
to
how many
use.
hours that you
Yeah,
want
okay,
to
great.
use at that hourly rate.
Okay, great. Will this be put in some type of form as an article at this point, or are you just researching it right now?
No,
Oh, it won't be an article, no, it will be available if somebody asks at town meeting, or, you know, I can share it with you absolutely now.
Right.
As soon as I, you know, have it in front of
Yeah.
me. I have rough numbers in my brain, but I don't wanna give you something unless I know it's exactly right, based on my conversation with them, so.
Yeah. Okay, great, yeah, that's great.
And your other question about the breakdown, the sheriff does have that, and he is going to present I think he had 3 options broke down, but I can't really say for sure. But all that information would have to come from the sheriff, but he is going to present that at town meeting.
Yeah, I think it would be good to know those things before town meeting, long before that, so people can think about it, so I don't know if that can be put out there somehow.
Did we get one? I don't,
We got a breakdown, when the sheriff's department came, they gave us a breakdown.
do you have one available? You could email
I don't-
me and.
I don't have one right here, but I
Yeah.
have to scan it in, but you give me an email address, I can send it to you.
Okay, sure.
It started at somewhere around like 140,000 and then went up to like 240
Right.
based on hours.
Do you remember the smaller amount of hours that was priced?
16?
120 or something?
No,
No.
it was, I think it was 80 to 100 hours.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
3 different levels that
Okay.
they presented, but Katrina will get that to you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, you know, one of the things that, you know, and I'm not sure, I don't come to many meetings, obviously, but as far as the nuclear plant that was built, my father was a select person for quite a while here. And during that period, the way I understand it, may have been whoever in charge at that point, the NRC or whoever, made promises that they would remove nuclear waste when the plant was decommissioned. And obviously, you know, we all understand that that hasn't happened. They haven't found a site. You know, Patty and other people were involved with, I think, looking at sites that the federal government was considering at one point in time. That's all fallen through. Now, you know, you may think this is just redundant or not necessary, but I just wondered if it would be a good idea to put out a statement that we still expect the government to withhold or, you know, hold up on their end of the deal here. Just to kind of state what I have, that we were promised when this plant was built that waste was going to be taken care of and moved to another site, and that we still expect that to happen. You know, I'm not saying that's going to make everything change immediately. I think it's good to state our position if the people in town or the board feels that is their position. It's my position, I guess, you know, so.
Well, Tax Stabilization Committee is working on things. I don't know if they're involved in that. That would have to be something that we'd have to discuss. with the
Yeah, if
board
you would,
itself, yes.
but I think it's relevant that we still state our position. If, that's my, you know, like I say, it's mine, if the board or the town feels that way. I think it would be good to at least make it clear that it's still our position, and other towns are in the same situation across the country, you know, that wouldn't hurt, that they all understand that, you know, we haven't forgotten about that, so. Okay, that's all I've got right now.
All right, well,
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Yeah, but.
Anyone else? Okay, we're gonna move on then. Ina, you wanna come forth? Good evening.
Hi, I'm Aina, Lindquist, Assistant Town Clerk, acting as Town Clerk, and I'm here to talk about records that need to be scanned. We have 19 books that have not been scanned yet. Could you pass those down? We have some extra copies if somebody would like to see those. Right now in our restoration fund, we have $19,821.24. And I have checked with Guilford and with Dummerston, and they both use the same company, and they have very excellent reports. And as you see, this is for 19 books. Land records, $3,610. And then there's no maps in those books. And silver film, which will be stored downstairs in the vault. another copy, and they make a copy, and that copy stays with them forever. And then it all will be digitized, to transfer to a computer, which, medium, like a hard drive. They have flash drive here, but then they have a little asterisk, and it says, if desired to have an external drive, substitute the flash drive. It would be the same amount of money. So adding the $4,840 and $1,899.05. And then I didn't really feel comfortable sending all the books at once, so we would have 9 first and then 8. And although Guilford and Dumston send them all the time, and they're very comfortable with it. Andrew Goodhue is her grandson, but he cannot make the trip where he is. His would be a little less money. She lives in Hyde Park, so she charges $128 for a round trip. So twice coming with that, the total amount is $6,995.05.
Please repeat that,
$6,995.05. And your film will be labeled with the content of each roll. Your film will be delivered to where you choose it to be. Your film can be digitized at any time. And she said if you have any questions, she's by the phone, we can call her tonight. And as a protection to us, while they have, it would take 1 week, while they have the books, we can call them at any time and they'll fax it or email it with an attachment, whatever we might need. So the first time that they would come and get them, we thought would be February 11th. There's a holiday, so they'd really have them only 4 days out of our office. And then would bring them back and then pick the other 4. So each 9 books and 8 books would take about a week.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty
How
good.
much did you say was available?
$19,821.24.
Thank you.
What's the board's pleasure? I move we have to go ahead with it.
Second.
Any discussion? The motion's been made and seconded to go with Goodway Document Service in the amount of $6,995.05. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And Chris, could you sign 2 places over there?
I won't sign mine because I wrote on it.
Oh, okay.
If you have a clear copy, I will.
Thank you.
All right, scribble.
Yes,
Jen, have you written on yours yet? No.
so near the top and near the bottom. Okay.
I can't see it. I got Emily over here. But I don't know where it is. I'm telling you, I'm having a hard time tonight. I know.
Who seconded the motion? Josh? I did, or you did, I think.
And then right down here, there's.
Mhm.
I need her to initial the first page too.
That's right. Could you initial the first page, please? Down on, yep, right there.
Go.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Have a safe trip home.
Thanks.
Library, Chris, come on up. Thank you, Ina. As you know, we had to take that off.
Yep.
So, at the time that you had come before, there was only 3 of us, and Josh said that he would be okay with bringing it back. And so I thought we'd get that taken care of now, one way or the other. And, but I do have a couple of questions for you. Will you be serving coffee out there in the foyer or no?
We can put a coffee a Keurig coffee maker out there.
Well, I didn't know if you were going to,
Mhm.
because the question was, if you have kids out there, nobody's out there watching, you know, it
Yep,
would be
you
a
know,
liability.
we understand that.
Also, the other question was, who would clean it up afterwards? Would Kevin be responsible for cleaning, other than his
Well,
normal
we go and
cleaning up?
police the area and pick, just like we do in the library.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
if the kids in the play area have papers and mess it up and stuff, we go in and police it and pick things up anyway, so that's what we would do,
Okay,
yeah. So I don't think there'd be any cleaning for him other than what he does already,
yeah,
so, yeah.
it's the board's pleasure. As you know, they want to put in a library Internet Café in the corner, the other corner, and,
Along with our book sale,
yeah.
which would be in bookcases, not tables, and it would be confined to our side of the lobby.
So how many bookcases?
We're looking at 2 9-footers.
Chris, I got a quick question. I was one of the two that wasn't here the first time. So you'll make internet access available to whomever?
It is already. We
Inside the library, but this will be in the foyer.
And people do sometimes sit out in their cars and use it as well. We were part of the fiber optic connection project with the Department of Libraries, and so we have fiber option from there. So yeah, it'd be available.
Is there any kind of monitoring of websites that people visit?
No, we don't do it in the library either. There's no censorship in the library. But on the other hand,
You've got juveniles using it though, correct?
they have permission from their parents. They have to have written permission from their parents.
That's
Yeah.
good to hear. I mean, I'd hate to have some kid get on the internet and see some things that
Oh, no, I
are not
agree.
age appropriate.
And yet on the other hand, the way they're set up, the way our computers are set up in the library, those screens are available if anybody walks by or if we see something objectionable, we tap them on the shoulder, ask them to shut it down and leave. In 17 years, I've never had to do that. So, yeah, people can call up whatever they want on their phones, on their
But I mean, if this is
device.
sponsored by the town, it really wouldn't be, I mean, what people do with their own devices is fine.
Well-
Using town equipment and, it's just a question.
We don't have any control over what they do unless, of course, as I said, if we see them. Of course, if we're out there and someone is doing something that's offensive, we're just gonna ask them to shut it down and leave. I mean, we have that option, but it's not something we police. There's no problem there's plenty of protection and security on the equipment. And so-
Anybody that uses it to have to sign in, or is it just whenever it's free, somebody can jump on?
They have to actually accept the terms, that's about it, yeah.
Thank you.
Questions?
I have no idea what town resident talked to me, but someone was concerned about the 2 seating areas. Can it be like, they said we're gonna have 1 seating area here and 1 here. Is that being looked at so you don't have 2 seating areas?
But why wouldn't we want to? Because not everybody, that seating area that's there now, they have no place to put their laptop. I know laptops are supposed to be on your lap, but they tell you not to put them on your lap because they get hot. So that seating area is basically, I've seen people sitting out there looking at books and waiting for people that are in the clerk's office or waiting for a meeting. But they wouldn't conflict with each other. They're in 2 separate places. So what we want to do is put a couple of cafe tables in our area with a couple of chairs so that people can actually sit and use their laptops. Yeah.
And you have the money for the cafe tables?
Yes, not gonna cost
I
anybody
know you had some
anything.
stuff donated, but I
Yeah.
didn't know if you had those
Yeah.
too.
So that's what we're looking at. Just an aside, I just read in the paper where Dover Library has put in a cafe, Wi-Fi cafe, actually in their library, they had the spot. And they knocked down walls and they had an electrician come and they did all kinds of stuff. And everybody's excited about it. it's just it's a real plus.
It does bring up a question. Is there power out there for them to plug in?
Yep, yep, and if they need a power strip, we have a power strip that they can borrow. But there's a outlet right in that corner, on that side.
Emily? What's the board's pleasure?
I will be looking to try it at least.
Second.
All right, any more discussion on it? Motion's been made and seconded to allow the library Internet Café. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 If they get rowdy, we come back on Chris.
Okay.
I'll be
Why not?
Not Chris.
Oh, I thought she meant me.
Oh, no, then I'm gonna come back.
I was saying, why not? Everybody does, right? Motion's seconded, motion's carried. Yep.
Was everybody in agreement? I didn't hear everybody.
No.
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 One.
Thank you.
Do you want me to poll the board?
Nope, I just need to hear the proposal, that's all.
He didn't want anybody to know.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't
That's
care.
no problem.
No, I know
I
that.
said it before, I'll say it again. It's
All
the
right.
same reasons I had last time.
Thank
Yep.
you.
All right, have a good night, thank you for
Thanks.
coming.
See you guys later.
Cindy. I knew that, Cindy, thank you. Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Well, I'm here.
I see that, thank you.
You're welcome. I have two things to ask the board. The first one is, that you're doing the town report different this year than what we've done in the past. What's available for information? My question is to the board, do you wish for me to get in touch with the people that did the audit to be there to answer questions?
You mean for town meeting?
Yes.
I don't know, Carol, what do you think? Do you think that they should be there?
Yeah, I mean, they're the ones that did the audit.
Josh?
Seems to make sense, yeah.
I think they should send it around.
The reports that the outside audit provides are not as easy to interpret as the ones we normally
Yes.
put in.
Yeah.
And some of it's lumped together, where we show every fund,
Yes.
that's not gonna be seen, so I didn't know if you had thought about what you wanted done there. So
Yeah, putting them, your accounting and theirs too? Do you mean that, for the funds, to separate the funds?
Well,
Is that what you're talking about?
we're not going to put my reports in.
No.
So, people that look at the report's going to be very different this year.
Mhm.
And
Oh, yeah.
they may have questions. I can provide a handout of my reports.
Oh, that might be a good idea.
However, if they have a question regarding the auditor's report, I didn't know if you wanted to have an auditor there.
I think
I
the
mean, I
board
haven't
is
asked
pretty
them,
much
I
in
haven't brought it
consensus
up
of that.
because I wanted to ask you guys.
We have a consensus?
Yes.
I think probably this town meeting would be the best, it would be fruitful to have somebody there.
Yes.
In that capacity.
Yeah,
Okay, so I will contact them and see if I can set something up.
that's wonderful, yes.
Okay.
Good thinking. And as far as your with the funds on a separate piece of paper, that almost sounds like a great idea.
I mean, I don't have I've done the reports already, so it's not going to be a whole, I mean, I've done them as I went along, so it's just a matter of putting them together. And
But it would be nice to have,
Right.
come in and they pick up all these
Right.
papers, and they could have that. if
and
they had
then we
questions.
could refer, if they say,
Right.
I don't find in here what's going on with James Cusick Fund, we can say, look at page 3 of the handout.
Absolutely,
You'll
that
see.
sounds great. I think that's, that would be wonderful.
You might wanna have it available before town meeting in case people come, looking
Yeah,
for
when they
it
get their
beforehand.
report.
Right, if they want to
Yeah.
come in.
Yeah, they might, cause they might come to you and say, this looks totally different than what I'm used to seeing. Where's your stuff? And if you have it all ready to go.
I can
You can
start
just
working
hand
on
it.
that, because I will have, with taxes due, people will be coming in, so I may get some questions and can hand it to them.
Yeah, that'd be great. That would be wonderful.
Be good to-
Okay.
Yep.
All right, and then my other question, is regarding, a few years back, we had a situation where a stipend was paid to someone that gets a stipend, obviously. Obviously they get a stipend. And they had not, they ended up not fulfilling their,
Oh, just like we have this year.
and what the select board opted to do at that time was to change it from you can get it whenever you want it to you get it quarterly.
Mhm.
I was wondering, based on happenings in the past year, if the select board would make I thought of doing the same for the select board people,
Mhm.
is doing quarterly payments instead of yearly, one shot whenever you feel like having it,
Mhm.
to avoid that type of situation.
I'd support that.
Yeah, yeah, because we are going to discuss making a payment or two or three anyway. We don't have it on this agenda, but we're going to do that because that happened this year, as we well know. It took their payment before they left and 1 week prior to, and just left. Yeah, we should discuss that. I think that's maybe not quarterly because it's such a small stipend anyway, but maybe, you know, every,
Third.
Yeah, third or half, yeah. I'll go along with third or whatever the
Well,
board
I
wants.
think,
but-
I mean, it could still be quarterly. I mean, that would be the most frequency that you could request it. I mean, it doesn't mean that you have to get it every quarter.
No,
Right, you can
know,
say I
you
don't
could
want
wait
it.
till,
all right, until halfway through it or
just-
whatever, yeah.
For people, you know,
yeah.
just to avoid, because we sort of did that in the other situation, we said, okay, that's it, it's gonna be quarterly. So I just figured maybe I would bring that up to you to avoid this situation happening again. Not that I'm saying anybody would do
Would
that.
people due to receive a stipend, such as select board or whatever, if the expectation was clearer when they came on board, I don't know if you'd have to have somebody sign something, but, I mean, it should be common sense, but
Yes.
not
Well-
everybody has that.
That could be part of,
Yeah,
that could be part of the employment or the, you know, personnel policy. I mean, even though we're not personnel per se, I mean, I think when that handbook is done, I think
yeah,
that
an
should,
addendum, that could
you know,
have
I mean,
select board's pay,
when
absolutely.
you're talking about compensation and like, you know, how often paychecks are and things like that, it just, if you receive a stipend, you can receive it quarterly or
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
whatever the
if
terms
it's,
are.
like I said, clear ahead of time, that if you don't do the job, you don't get the money.
And we could have them sign something if they, for some reason, wanted it up front saying, well, I'll pay it back, but it's kinda hard to get it back
Right.
once
Yeah.
it's out there.
Yeah, I think that's something that we should discuss at a later time, absolutely.
Yep.
Yes,
Thank you.
I think it's great suggestion.
That was
Yes.
it.
Thank you so very much.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Chris, just one thing along with what Cindy was saying as far as what is in the town report, your budget, the select board budget will be in
Yes,
as she has it, so
yes,
that
yes.
part will be.
yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, Cindy.
You're welcome.
David Walker? Yeah, you're, yep. Okay, you have a certificate of mileage.
Right there, same as last year, and the box is checked, that it's the same,
Wow.
it's done every year.
Yep.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve and sign that certificate of mileage. It's the same.
Second.
Motion's been, yes, it is the same. Motion's been made and seconded to sign this. There's plenty of spaces for everybody to sign. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Of course, if I don't write super large, we'll have plenty of room. Okay, what else you got, David?
Town road bridge standards and network inventory.
Okay.
Same thing, it's every year we do it. We go with the state for the roads and bridge
Mhm.
and all that.
And that needs to be signed.
Yep.
Sandy?
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to sign the certificate of compliance for town roads and bridge standards and network inventory. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. And send it back this way when you're done. Okay. You popping bubbles over there, Sandy?
Anything else?
Anything
That's
else?
it? Nope.
Okay.
All right.
You get off easy.
Get off easy, huh?
Yes. Thank you so much, David.
Yep.
David, can you put a copy of those in my box?
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, Mark Snow. Hi, Mark.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Fine, thanks. So the reason I'm here this evening is to give an update to the board. I'll keep it as general as possible. I did have some interaction with the individual this past weekend. It was disappointing to see that he had not followed through with what he said he was going to. He was very apologetic. Unfortunately, not only did he not follow through, but he also added to the problem. Now I'm seeing household trash and garbage, pretty noticeable amounts. So as a result, a notice of intent was issued, which is also an order to correct. The individual has been given a certain amount of time to clean everything up, remove it, or if subject fails to, then I'll be coming back before the board as the local board of health seeking a health order. So that will be scheduled for March 7th. So at that time, if things are not corrected, that's what I'll be seeking for.
So
Well, actually, what's our, March 7th, you
Yep.
said?
Yes.
Okay, that's our next meeting. Yes, you and I just discussed that.
Yes.
So the individual has a month to rectify the
Yes.
situation.
Yeah, and he just wanted me to pass along to the board that he plans on getting a dumpster and taking care of the situation, so
Okay, great.
that's what I have now. I do have a written report. I don't know, I do have copies, if each board member would like a copy, or if you wanna wait and
Would you like a copy? Yeah,
Take one.
copy.
yes, please.
Does the situation have to be completely resolved by March 7th, or just, you know, progress?
So,
According to the order, yes.
Okay.
However, if there are good efforts
Significant
shown
process,
and reduced the possible health hazards, then I'm willing to work with them. Also come to light during my interactions that there's a tenant in that house. So that brings in the rental housing code now. So I'm requesting a full housing inspection of the building. So, just so the board is aware.
mhm. Okay. Well then, we'll, we have him tentatively put on March 7th. You're gonna come anyway, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so if you put him on that agenda, we'll have that. Thank you very much. Okay. Any board member have questions? Josh?
No.
Jeff?
Oh, good, thank you.
Sandy? Emily?
Thank you.
All right,
Mark.
thank you very much, Mark. Have a great night. Thank you. Hard work, thank you. Tax Committee. Nope, I'm sorry.
Sit back down.
Sit back down. But thank you. Recycling, come on up there, sorry.
Grab some extra chairs.
Yes, bring some chairs with you. And thank you for coming, both of you. We probably will have some questions. If you want to pull up a chair, you're more than welcome to come to the table if you'd like. No?
We'll wait.
Okay. All right.
We'd like to speak on the 24/7 recycling area at the town highway department. And it's a real convenience for the residents of Vernon. I think it really sets us apart from other towns. We can recycle books there, we can recycle clothing, we get rid of your returnable bottles there, and you can recycle your recyclables anytime you want. And for the most part, the area's kept very neat, but there are times when things kind of get a little messy and things get overlooked. So as a committee, we'd like to have some clear lines of responsibility. For the most part, you know, we just don't want like the ant hills to become molehills, and then the molehills get bigger and bigger, and that's the type of thing. The highway department, I understand they contact the sheriff department when they see illegal dumping, which is great. And I understand that sometimes they actually get people to take back their stuff. And then one area is the bottle return area that the fire department has. And that seems to collect a lot of bottles that don't get put into the bin, whether the bin's full, whether they don't want to be bothered to put them in the little hole, that type of thing. And a committee member had called the fire department and they said somebody would commit to it weekly. But I think, just watching it, I think that maybe more frequently would be better. Like at least 3 times a week, because it's amazing the amount of bottles get put there. Even just, I took some photographs just because I always like to document things. So this was on Thursday, and then this is on Sunday morning. So just in that short amount of time, there's a lot of stuff there. And also, if we can all work together, especially if there's going to be a snowstorm. If the fire department is, everybody knows when there's going to be a snowstorm, to go down, to make sure the area is cleaned up. That way the highway department can it's much easier to clean up the snow. So just as 3 departments, the volunteers, the highway department, the fire department, to keep that area neat. I don't know if there's, people dump things there. There was a tennis racket there. There was car seat, and some other things that are there. And there's no clear responsibility of who picks them up. So.
Well, David pretty much takes care of that area. He always has. I mean, I don't think he picks up trash, but and we can't ask the fire department to go there 3 days a week. They're volunteers just like we are. I mean, you could maybe go talk to them and suggest it or whatever. But I
think like with the bottles,
maybe you guys could go 3 times a week and take turns or something like that. I mean,
it's too much.
The fire department's receiving the benefit of those bottles.
Well, true. I mean, I'm not taking that away. I mean, we can't force them to do is what I'm saying.
It becomes a safety issue too. It's on town property, and
Oh, no, I absolutely get that. I don't.
I had
mean,
wished that somebody from the fire department was gonna be here tonight, because I was wondering if there was some way that they could.
Well, we could, I
Take
mean, I can go
larger
down and
amounts
have the
because
liaison talk to Todd. I mean, you know, would you do that,
Yeah.
Josh?
Yeah,
And,
no problem.
let's see what we can, you know, do. I mean, you know, I could go down, I mean, even,
So these
you
are
know,
the
so.
returnables that you're referring to?
These are the returnables, and also, I would like the highway department, we had an incident, where we had that first storm, where it was that nasty storm. It was bad, icy. And the area got plowed out, and we had, somebody spoke to a committee member and said the area, you know, the area was icy. The committee member, we had a meeting that night anyway, so they just brought it to the committee, which I emailed you about.
Yes, but I talked to David, and like David said, it was that, they were out and about, but, they always, put, sand and salt in between them and take care of them.
The storm happened on the 30th. When we got the complaint, it was the 7th. And I went down, I actually have a photograph on the 8th, and it's still icy. But just to be, it's easy, I mean, you've cleaned up, but just to like double check, because it was pretty bad.
There's cameras there too, you know, you
Right.
you know, so you could call the sheriff's department down, they could take see at the, if anything was captured on
Well,
film,
no, it's not,
right?
about- it's just about making sure the area gets cleaned up.
Mhm.
Because that was January, I have it on the back, January 8th. We had a meeting, let me see, we had a meeting on the 7th. So I remember brought the issue up on the 7th. And I emailed you on the 9th about it. And so it was still, and then it rained that weekend, so it just melted. But just take a second look, because I know you guys are busy, you drive by, it's like a painting in your house. You walk by it 10 times a day, and you just don't see it anymore. That type of thing.
I guess I'm not sure, at what point, David, do you call the sheriff's department when someone leaves something there? I mean, how much do they have to leave, or, because sometimes it just seems to go away, but I'm not sure how it goes away. Maybe we don't want to say how it goes away, I don't know.
Chris called me on the 13th of
Pardon?
January, or the 11th, somewhere there. It was the 11th. On the 13th, somebody actually left us some nice printers.
Yeah.
14th, that's why Tyler's here, he can go on after that. That's when we called them.
Oh, okay. So you do call and they look at the films and,
Yeah, as long as we know about it, I mean, we'll do our best to track down whoever it may be.
okay.
If we can track down the person, we talk to them and say, you need to remove it from the recycling area because that's not where trash goes, that's not where stuff can be dumped. And if it happens more than once or twice, then that's when they're probably gonna get charged, you know, with littering or illegal dumping of some sort. But we try to track down the person immediately and say, hey, listen, you can't leave it here. If you go back and pick it up, you get a warning for it. You know, have a nice day. If they don't, I'm gonna come back and issue a citation or a ticket for littering or illegal dumping, so.
Well, that's an idea, why not move the, bottle bin down to the fire department?
Well,
I wondered about that.
they only, the way that we set it up was that, they came to us and asked if they could have it for a year.
Yes.
And then we
I
said
know.
every year we would change who benefited from the bottles.
Well, I
So,
think there
Yeah, that
should be
wouldn't-
something in place. A, the bin needs to be changed, and something should be in place that they're involved in this too, because
I don't know. It's larger quantities of bottles. They're bringing trash bag, you know, like
Yes,
30-gallon trash
I
bags.
can't even,
well, and
They don't go in that little hole.
I know.
Yeah, well, and I've done that. I mean, I waited till I had a large bag full and I brought it down there, and it so happened that Mike Ball pulled in while I was doing it, cause I was gonna call the fire, I wasn't gonna put them in one by one, I was gonna call the fire department when I got back to say, hey, just so you know, I left a bag, so they could bring it up, but Mike stopped in, so he was aware of it and was gonna take care of it, but, yeah, I think people just wait till they get a bag full.
One of those bags are yours.
Is
that what you're saying?
Months ago, so it was warm weather.
I'm kidding.
But yeah, I mean, I wonder maybe it would be easier for the fire department if people are gonna bring bags to bring them right to the fire department.
That would make sense.
I mean,
But
that would
maybe if
work
they
for
put a
now.
sign on
Maybe
the-
a sign on there
sign
that
on
saying,
there or something.
so that-
But I'm
Yeah, that's
just
something we can-
asking everybody that is involved in that area to be very, to give out 110%, because that's, you know, it's a convenient for our residents. We wanna keep it safe, we wanna keep it neat, and, you know, I shovel, if I have a shovel and there's kitty litter in front of the composting bins, I'll shovel it up. But things like that,
It's a fair
all of
request.
us, if all of us really give it 110%, and,
It's been a problem for a long time. It
and,
really has.
and I think it's a convenience, and I think it's,
It's a problem with a lot of the 24/7 sites in a
yeah.
lot of different towns, yeah, it's not just Vernon. But going back to the bottles though, Chris Peril lives in town, I don't know the volume that they get there, but maybe there's something that you could connect with him, and I know he goes and collects at certain places.
Well, I think,
Fix them up
David, you
himself.
mentioned him, you're in constant contact with him.
No, since the fire department took it over. that's-
Oh.
if they
Oh, for
wanna
the
use
bottles,
them,
you mean,
that's-
yeah, okay,
So, I don't know, that's just a thought.
all right,
So you're saying he used to pick them up there, David? Okay.
yeah.
Has anybody thought of doing away with the big dumpsters? Seems we have curbside pickup.
Well, it's a free service to us through, Wyndham Solid Waste, so no, we
And I-
discussed it.
And I guess it's still being it's being used a lot
Well, if
still.
it's free, that's all right, because
Yeah.
most of the ones that have been caught down there are not from town anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another thing we.
And that's
I've
what's
seen
making
people
it
from
hard to
Vernon
catch
up
them.
at Brattleboro, so, I mean, I think that's,
Yeah, but these are Hinsdale, well, New Hampshire.
well,
I
how do
can't
you,
say
how do you
Hinsdale,
stop
but-
that? I mean,
Yeah.
we can't hire
They're
somebody to be
probably-
there 24/7 either. I
Probably
mean,
people who work in town, you know, work at VY or work at the school, or, you know,
Could be,
work in town, so they just, cause they have to pay for their trash in Hinsdale too, so they just dump it out here.
Heather,
well, we can certainly try to do something a little bit different.
I've heard complaints about the bees in the summer at the compost.
Bees,
Bees.
I've read
maggots.
something about that.
I mean, that's what they've been complaining about, but that you're not gonna stop.
Nobody's ever
It's
called me
food.
about anything.
You know, you're not
like
gonna
that.
stop
So I'll
that.
just come to call you
That's
guys.
probably more from the bottles, from like soda.
Soda.
Yeah.
You know,
Sweet
so it's
stuff.
probably not
Sweet.
so much the recycling, but the bottles, and
Yeah,
I don't think we can ask people to rinse out their bottles every time.
probably not.
Well, we can try, but I don't.
Well,
People are gonna
you
do
know,
it.
Yeah,
something, we'll let,
We're just-
Josh talk to,
Yeah.
Todd about this. and-
but we're just asking the fire department and the highway department to really, you know,
Well, they've been.
I know, but just to double check, after a storm that you got the area, or if it hasn't melted, or, because they get a lot of elderly people down there, and it would be,
Safety issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you
All
have
right.
the last photo digitally?
yeah,
Okay, can you email that to me?
uh-huh,
The one with all the bags around the,
yep.
he may not realize it, cause I'm not sure if he's the one that picks it up, how much volume is done there, so along with my note, I'd like to send him the picture and say, hey, this is what we're talking about, you know.
Yeah.
Did we miss a week of coming every week, what happened?
Well, I think it
So-
really needs to be more than once a week, I really do.
Yeah, we can ask them, we just,
I mean,
that's my point is and I don't mean to make light of it or say that I don't care, that's not true. But I'm just saying, we can't force him to do that, we will ask him, I mean, and suggest maybe more than once a week, but, I mean, you know, right?
Yeah, we just ask him to keep an eye on it when he drives by,
Yeah.
but,
Does anybody know how often they come and pick up the books and the clothes?
David would know that.
I'm not even,
As far as I know, it's on the weekend to close, usually on a Sunday. I don't know if it's every Sunday, I know they were there this past Sunday. The books, I'm not sure.
somebody comes and picks them up anyways.
Yep.
Yep.
Away. And I was not at all clear who was picking up like the fax machines or the printers and the car seats and all that stuff. I had not a clue how that was being handled, so.
Chris David's got something.
Just so you know, Josh, Todd stopped at the garage today and I told him you ought to pick them up Monday morning.
Okay. All right.
Just so you're aware, because it seems like Monday mornings is when it's really full, after the
Okay.
weekends.
Sure.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ronna, quickly.
Another option I might suggest is that you have two stations, one at the highway department and one at the fire department for the bottles.
Yeah, well, like Emily was saying, we've only given them a certain time frame that they can have them, so if, once that time is done, then we have to move it back and, you know.
Every
so just-
fiscal year,
Yeah.
the beneficiary would
Yeah.
change, so.
Yeah, good, thank you, Bronna.
But I would like other
now-
people, like when, you drive, you're just driving by, just if you see boxes or something, if you could just put them in there. I don't know if you do, I mean, I do. If you guys drive by and you see boxes that haven't been broken down, they haven't been put in, if you could just do it, just to keep it.
All right, now to move on to the pay per throw. Do you have newer figures? And because what I'm thinking, and this is why I've asked Triple T to come, is because we've had nothing but complaints of going up, and I'm sorry that this has happened, but I've tried to explain the necessity of what we've done, and but what was brought to my attention was that the the Wyndham Solid Waste District assessment is added in there and taken away from the money that we receive for the pay per throw. If we pulled that out, which we did this year, we're going to, we have an article for the towns, for the taxpayers to perhaps raise the raise the assessment.
Right.
Okay. I'm wondering, did you ever figure that out without the assessment? How close we were to that?
I did just a 1 year expense versus revenue from the January 1st, 2014 to June 30th, 2015.
Yes.
The bag purchases were $13,953. Gilbert Country Store was $137.50. The Triple T was $115,264.56. So the total expenses were just under $130,000. The revenue from bag sales were $84,912.
Wow.
So it still leaves you with a deficit of $44,443.14. The solid waste fund at the beginning of this year was $95,000. The solid waste assessment is just about $27,000.
Yeah,
So-
we have that in as an article to raise that money, to replace, to put into the solid waste fund.
So we're still running at a deficit.
Right, yes, okay, well, I figured that, but I wanted it out so that the public will know that as well. And I think that we need to look at other options with what we can do in the future. Should we stay at this, or should we go to maybe every other week trash? What could you do for us to save us something?
Go. Oh, go, sure. We discussed it.
Oh, good.
Hi, I'm Peter Gaskell, I'm General Manager of Triple T. And certainly by changing your service levels, it would affect the rate that we charge, absolutely. We've done some preliminary discussions with the recycling committee But there's a meeting Thursday night, I think that's probably gonna be
Yes.
the bulk of the agenda. But anyways, so the answer is there's options in regards to that, absolutely. And it's just a matter of what services the town wants and where it all lies for your revenues that you have and the expenses.
I would also like to bring to the board that a July 2017 composting comes into play.
Right.
So, that may have to be curbside.
It's required, isn't it?
It's required under the act, what is it, 147 or 148 or something like that?
So we could lose money even faster.
Right.
So, you have another ball.
Okay, so are we willing to all get together, probably right after, town meeting? And, try to come up with something a little bit better? You're gonna find out what town meeting, is gonna bring as far as remarks and suggestions, and I can't even imagine. And are you're willing to, stand up and talk to this motion, and we come back to you with more options, perhaps, of really getting some good suggestions down to what I mean, I hate to completely take away, town trash pickup, but that's an option as well.
Did the last time you were here, did you indicate, as far as Wyndham County, there's 23 towns in Wyndham County, and was Vernon one of 3 or one of 4?
One of 3, but
That offer
I
curbside.
have to say that computing all options people have, I don't think they realize what they're getting for service. It compares, they're paying maybe a little bit less.
It depends on how you use it.
As you throw, you pay. Right.
And the
But
more you
it-
recycle and compost.
But
The
it
less
pretty
you pay.
much compares. I mean, it's not that much difference. And if you're gonna bring it somewhere yourself, or you're gonna have somebody come to your house, or all in all, it equals out pretty close.
And that's why the state did this, because it's against the law to throw away recyclables in the trash now. So it's
So
kind of forced into
how
it.
does that leave individuals in other towns that have no recycling, no curbside? I mean, so people are
They haul it themselves.
doing illegal things by just having their own dumpster. No?
Well, we don't know. We don't
You
know.
throw cans.
Yeah, can you throw anything and everything into a dumpster?
Why not?
Well, because it's illegal now, right?
It's illegal, but we're not required to be
enforced.
Dump pickers.
Right.
So who
So to
enforces,
speak.
who, I mean, if somebody has a dumpster, who enforces that?
No one.
State.
Okay.
Who wants to have a dumpster in their yard? I don't
A&R
particularly
if
want to
they
have
want
one.
A&R if they want them.
Yeah.
That's the state regulations, who's setting the regulations. They wanna go after residents for it, then they're the ones that are supposed to do it.
Go ahead, Sandy.
I just wondered, have you had more people from Vernon take out dumpsters since pay-as-you-throw went in?
Yeah, there's a lot of them sitting, waiting for you to make a decision.
The price increase has, the phones have lit up.
I'm ashamed to say my daughter went a different way
Yeah, I
too.
just wondered.
There's been I mean, and we all make decisions every day. We go to the supermarket, which item do you buy, so it's the same idea.
Yeah, people need to be well aware that we're running in a big deficit here, and if we didn't do something, we were really gonna go down.
Well, you still
And
have-
it was a learning year for us.
You still have a lot of options that Brattleboro's exercising, some of them. Is every other week trash. You go every other week recycling, save some more. We have the numbers, but we'd really like to take those numbers to recycling committee first.
Yes,
We're kind of
yeah,
out of whack here. We
Okay.
actually have the numbers that we could give them, but it's a little immature to not to do it through the recycling committee.
Yeah, no, right,
But there is some savings where they probably could bring this within budget.
okay, yes. And that'd be great to be able to bring, I know we can't raise,
Like to come to the meeting?
excuse me?
Would our liaison person like to come to the meeting?
And don't tell me it's me, right?
I thought it was Sandy.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I thought it was Sandy,
I'm
yeah.
checking, because I would like to go,
Could
so
you,
maybe.
I have another appointment.
So it's an open
It's,
meeting, anybody can come. It's Thursday.
Thursday.
This Thursday at 4 p.m.
Oh, 4.
Okay. Yes. I lost my train of thought. Go ahead,
I
Janet.
just have a question. Will that be something that eventually will be brought up at town meetings, so townspeople decide?
Yes, they're gonna be available to answer any questions should it come up and everything, yes.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna be prepared, hopefully.
So to vote on different alternatives?
No,
No.
no,
Oh.
no. They're just gonna explain what happened and that kind of thing. We won't have any options until, other than what we have right now in place, until after town meeting.
Oh, okay, thanks.
I think my concern is that we raised the bag price before we looked at the options. And that's what sets your taxpayers off pretty hard. Probably we should have been here at that last meeting and maybe suggested maybe some alternatives to maybe bring it in budget.
Right. I don't think we expected what we did, and when we got those figures, it was like,
The other thing is you're doing is, it throws it off. You got the towns are relatively the same price, and it just moves the trash over here, and it moves it back over here. If you're free, then you get Hinsdale because they're paying, and that's where your tonnage, you'd be surprised how easy it moves just from knowing people. I got friends in Vernon, and it's free here, down here. So you can see it, black, white bags, and you can actually see it. I think we can help you, and I think that we can bring that in line. Peter and I have talked about it extensively.
Okay.
So I think that that's a good option, but I'm not sure that $5 is a good option.
Yeah.
Because if
Okay.
you lose your
Well, we
revenue,
can-
if you lose your revenue over here, then you're not gonna
consider
pay
anything
for
and everything.
what we do for you.
Right. We
That's-
would
that's my
consider
concern.
anything and everything.
Can always be
And-
reduced, the bag price can always be reduced.
Right.
After we
Right.
look at the options.
The only
or whatever.
one thing that we cannot do is we cannot tax people for rubbish collection anymore. So that's our issue right now, and that's why we decided to put in for the assessment at least. So-
Yeah, everybody can share in that.
Right, everybody can share that,
taxpayer
right.
can share in that.
Right.
I would just like to say that I've talked to people and I said, we were running in a deficit and the bags needed to go up. And they were like, and explained to them, I said, this is how much it costs, this is how much that costs. And they said, oh, I'd rather pay more and take charge of my trash and how I dispose or recycle. That they were okay with it, after they were explained to, so.
Yes, I've done, okay, so then it's settled, we'll meet right after, town meeting, maybe we can make it the, March 7th meeting. Would that be convenient for everybody, or?
That might be
I don't know, I'll have to look at.
I'm going to be gone part of February, so it's, town meeting, I don't know, then what's the second meeting?
Would be March 21st. Would that be better?
What do you guys think?
Are you available, either night?
21st?
21st is probably better, it's not gonna make that much difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, would you put them on the 21st agenda, Katrina, please? Thank you.
That way we'll have time to meet again in March.
Okay.
That would be good, yeah.
Yeah, it would be very good, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you very, very, very much for your hard work. And he'll talk to Todd and we'll
Okay.
work something out, even if I stop myself a couple times a week, I don't mind. I really don't, so, at the recycling. Thank you both so very,
Thank
very
you.
much. Good work, thank you. Okay. Now,
You sure now?
tax committee, I am sure. Thank you again. Never mind. No, never mind. Something's gonna, I'm kidding.
That was Jeff's idea.
That was Jeff.
Everybody is so funny here tonight. I'm telling
Yeah. You remember, it was the banter. That's what people like, the banter. Carol?
Yeah, Carol.
Carol, grab a nice chair. Thank you, Ian.
Madam Chair, I request we go into executive session because we are going to be talking about a contractual matter that would be detrimental to the town for it to be public at this point.
Okay. Sandy's the one.
Madam Chair, I move to find that premature general public knowledge of tax committee's report will clearly place the town at a substantial disadvantage by disclosing its negotiation strategy. And I just need to vote on that first.
Yes. I need a second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Madam Chair, I move that we enter executive session to discuss the tax committee's recommendations under the provisions of Title I, Section 313A1 of the Vermont statutes annotated.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. We will now enter into executive session. Thank you. If you want to grab a chair or two, Barbara, would you prefer a chair out there? We went into executive session at what time, Katrina?
At 7:36.
Okay, and out at 8:04. No action taken.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I move that we allow the Lister's office to retain the services of Donahue Tucker and Ciandella PLLC, attorneys specializing in utility matters, to work in conjunction with our town attorney. You want
Second.
I'll give it to you afterwards.
Any more discussion on this? A motion's been made and seconded for the listers, for the select board to give the lister's office permission to retain the services of Donahue, Tucker, Ciandella, PLLC, attorneys specializing in utility matters, to work in conjunction with our town attorney. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Thank you, tax committee. You have done an awesome job. It is a hard job. It is an awesome job. And as far as the select board is concerned, you have done one hell of a job. Thank you. Okay. Minutes. We have a couple of corrections. On the 18th, we have a partial statement under public comments, according to my little notes here, written up for me. And, oops.
Right, the form is scheduled for. It wasn't.
Well, where
This
is
was the candidates forum, was scheduled, and it says the forum is scheduled for, and I left it blank. I can.
that forum, the last sentence, that forum is
That
scheduled
forum is
for.
scheduled for, and I didn't.
February 17th at 6:30. We are not clear yet where it's going to be. Some of us prefer the school and some of us prefer here. You guys have any ideas which you would think would be better? The school has mics, I kinda like that.
And when we had ours,
You were at
there
the
was a
school.
number of people. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
It'd be more packed if it was out there. I mean,
Yeah.
it couldn't happen in here.
No,
in this
no.
room, but
I meant out there.
Yeah.
I
it'd be
think
tight out there.
Too tight, yeah.
Plus, it's also school holiday week, school break.
Oh,
I don't
so
know.
the staff's not
So
there.
I've got both places.
Well, part of staff
reserved.
is, because there's one staff member that works always anyway, just
Oh.
the 3 to 11.
The custodian? Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna check with Ian Spencer at the school today, tomorrow probably, And I will let you know, but it is February 17th at 6:30.
That is the part that I left off. Okay, thank you, Ron. All right.
I have another correction. On page 1 to 2, sorry. The first paragraph under the recycling committee, at the very end, it said, one of 3 towns that still offer curbside pickup, Brattleboro and Guilford are the other 2. I think it was Westminster. It's not Guilford.
It's not Guilford.
I think it's Westminster,
It is.
right?
Dummerston?
Yeah, Dummerston.
Brattleboro and Vernon.
It was Brattleboro,
Dummerston,
and Vernon.
it wasn't Westminster, it was Dummerston.
Guess I wrote that wrong.
It's in the paper, it's in the comments this week anyway.
No, I know, I had it written down too, Dummerston, Brattleboro,
I had
Dummerston.
Westminster in my head.
Yeah, I did too.
Oh.
My brother lives in Dummerston.
So
Well,
I was
they
gonna
live-
say, somebody just out there, they said Westminster.
Yeah.
It is
It
Westminster.
is Westminster, it's Brattleboro, Westminster,
Yeah.
and Vernon. Those are
I'm
the.
sorry, we were both.
I mean, well.
Cheryl just mentioned that to me out there. We just
Yeah.
had that whole conversation.
I'm gonna look it up because I could have sworn
I
it said
wrote
it
it
was
down that
Dummerston.
night.
Oh, you got it there too?
Yeah.
I wrote it down, Brattleboro,
Good.
Westminster, and Vernon.
All right, good. Good. I thought it was Dummerston too. What was the mention of Dummerston then, I wonder?
My brother lives in Dummerston, but he lives on a private road, so I don't know if he would have gotten.
That's good to know. Okay,
Make a motion that we accept the minutes from the January 18th select board meeting as corrected.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Under the 23rd, the second 23rd minutes, I don't know which one's which, because you never can tell because they're both dated January 23rd.
It's the one where under new business is
I
town
know.
warning?
One started at 6:52, the other one started at 7:03.
Probably the Board of Civil Authority meeting.
Must have been the 6:52.
Yeah. So that would have been the 27th, correct?
Yes.
And then the 23rd is the 23rd. Oh, I need a motion.
I move we accept both of them as corrected.
I need a second now.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to accept the minutes of the 23rd and the 27th of January as corrected. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Abstain.
Yep, I'm gonna have to abstain too because I was absent for one of those meetings.
Okay, so I'm
Okay,
a little
then do them
confused
separate
because
then.
January 23rd's minutes actually had no corrections unless you just made one.
We didn't.
You didn't, so that one should be as written.
Okay. And Josh was not here, so he abstained from that one.
And I'm abstaining from the actual 23rd because I left before the meeting adjourned.
No, you did that on the 27th,
I did that on this,
right after the BCA.
yeah, that one.
Yeah, that would have been the 27th. So, that one is as corrected. And, all those in favor for that one?
Aye.
Aye.
Which one?
And she's abstaining, the 27th.
Okay, yeah, I'm abstaining from that.
Aye.
And so ayes have it, there's 4 of us with ayes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. 4 with ayes, and 1 without. And then for the 23rd, 4 ayes have that one, and 1 without.
And the one without is Josh.
That's me.
Yes.
I wasn't there.
Okay, now, bills and warrants, a little paper.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve and pay the following warrants. 15-16.14, accounts payable, $56,699.04. 3S payroll, $8,599.43. 4S payroll, $8,980.90.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded to sign and approve, and pay warrants. 15-16.14, accounts payable in the amount of $56,699.04. 3S payroll, $8,599.43. 4S payroll, $8,980.90. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Well, Kevin will not be reporting at this time, and neither will Todd. So, and I have no correspondence.
Oh, I do, you do.
Oh, I do?
Thing.
Gee, I didn't know that.
Yep, there was, there's just minutes from the Finance Committee
Okay,
and the Vernon Community News, and that's it.
okay. All right. So, guess what?
I'm not doing it.
Wait a minute.
You smarty pants.
A little gun shy?
Yeah.
I move that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Public participation, do we skip over
Oh.
public participation?
Anybody have public participation?
Too late.
It's
No,
too late anyway.
It's too late. Okay, sorry.
No, they didn't anyway. They do it during the meeting.
Just trying to make you feel better.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, done.